This tutorial video covers ripple whips, specifically the pan theme of ripple whips. These four templates right here: whip left, whip right, and flip right. These are also very straightforward. I'm going to throw whip left onto this transition right here. And the default duration, Control D, is 2 seconds. Generally, I like to speed these guys up too, so I'll make it shorter. And let's play through it. And immediately we have a nice transition. Now, I've taken, these happen to be stills, works on video just as well, of course, but I just want you to notice that on these stills I've added a Ken Burns move, so there's motion on the still before the transition, and on the incoming clip there's also a Ken Burns move, so that we get movement throughout, before, during, and after the transition. The purpose of this blurring is to mask the difference between the two shots. If I park in the middle and select it, in the transition inspector we have a blur amount and prism amount. If I set those both to 0, you'll see a hard line between the two, which you can certainly use if you want to. You just do a slide, but you're going to reveal the replicated edges when you do that. So these are really designed in order to blur this edge. Of course, if you have material that matches better, you don't need to blur as much. I've particularly chosen something that doesn't match at all. I just want to show you that the prism effect by itself can be very effective without any blur whatsoever. It's just very colorful. And blur by itself can also be effective. But the default uses a little bit of both. It adds a little color, which I really like. So that's whip left. Whip right is identical, except in the opposite direction. So it is the same type of thing. Flip left and flip right are a little bit different. I'll add flip left here, keeping it to this short duration. And there's a lot more movement here, so it really depends on the subject matter what makes sense for you, because it's flipping around all the way to reveal the next clip. These also have a lot of differences between them. The colors are very different, the brightness levels are very different. So you can use this prism amount and this blur amount to mask that transition from one to the next, and they fade in and out. Flip right does the same thing, but in the opposite direction. And once again, you can use these parameters to hide the seam between those as much as you need to. So these four are very straightforward and a lot of fun to use.